For today's video, I'm going to tackle the regional economic integration in the Americas. So first, what is NAFTA? NAFTA stands for North American Free Trade Agreement. NAFTA is a treaty between Canada, Mexico, and the United States. It was signed by President Clinton and implemented in 1994. NAFTA was created to eliminate tariff barriers, which focuses on agricultural, manufacturing, and services, remove investment restrictions, and protect intellectual property rights. There are three disadvantages of NAFTA. First, some argue that it sent many U.S. manufacturing jobs to lower-cost Mexico. Second, workers who kept jobs in those industries had to accept lower wages. Third, Mexico's workers suffered exploitation in its maquiladora programs. NAFTA has also three significant advantages. First, U.S. grocery prices would be higher without tariff-free imports from Mexico. Imported oil from both Canada and Mexico has prevented higher gas prices. Third, NAFTA has also increased trade and economic growth for all three countries. There are 6 functions of NAFTA. First, NAFTA grants the most favored nation status to all co-signers. That means countries must give all parties equal treatment. It includes foreign direct investment. They cannot give better treatment to domestic investors than foreign ones. They can't offer a better deal to investors from non-NAFTA countries. Governments must also offer federal contracts to businesses in all 3 NAFTA countries. Second, NAFTA eliminates tariffs on imports and exports between the 3 countries. Tariffs are taxes used to make foreign goods more expensive. NAFTA created specific rules to regulate trade in farm products, automobiles, and clothing. Third, exporters must get certificate of origin to waive tariffs. That means the export must originate in the United States, Canada, or Mexico. For example, a product made in Peru but shipped from Mexico will still pay a duty when it enters the United States or Canada. Fourth, NAFTA establishes procedures to resolve trade disputes. It protects businesses from unfair practices. The NAFTA Secretariat facilitates an informal resolution between the parties. If this doesn't work, it establishes a panel to review the dispute. That helps all parties to avoid costly lawsuits in local courts. This will help the parties interpret NAFTA's complex rules and procedures. Fifth, NAFTA countries must respect patents, trademarks, and copyrights. And at the same time, the agreement ensures that these intellectual property rights don't interfere with trade. 6. The agreement allows business travelers easy access throughout all 3 countries. NAFTA has 2 other agreements. First, the North American Agreement on Environmental Cooperation, where it supports the enforcement of environmental laws. Second, the North American Agreement on Labor Cooperation, where it protects working conditions. Next topic is the Andean community. In 1966, Bolivia, Chile, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, and Venezuela are all the members of the Latin American Free Trade Association. The Andean group began its official existence in June 1969, without Venezuela, which had withdrawn. By 1973, Venezuela had decided to join, but Chile withdrew in 1976. The Andean group began negotiating free trade agreements with the Mercado, or also known as Mercosur. There are 4 aims of Andean community. First, the acceleration of economic integration between member countries. Second, the coordination of regional industrial development. Third, the regulation of foreign investment in member countries. Fourth, the standardization of some agricultural and economic policies. Next is Mercosur, or the Southern Common Market. It is a regional integration process initially established by Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay, and Uruguay, and subsequently joined by Venezuela and Bolivia. Mercosur is an open and dynamic process. Its main objective has been to promote a common space that generates business, investment opportunities through the competitive integration of national economies into the international market. Next topic is the Central American Common Market. It is an economic agreement among the 5 Central American countries, which are Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua. The Caribbean Community, or CARICOM, was established in 1973. It is an organization of 15 Caribbean nations and dependencies having primary objectives. First, to promote economic integration and cooperation among its members. Second, to ensure that the benefits of integration are equitably shared. Third, to coordinate foreign policy. The CARICOM major activities involve devising and instituting special projects for the less developed countries within its jurisdiction, coordinating economic policies and development planning, operating as a regional single market for many of its members, and handling regional trade disputes. The Caribbean Single Market and Economy. It was initially implemented on January 1, 2006, with the signing of the document for its implementation by 6 original member states. The goal of CSME is to lower trade barriers and harmonize macroeconomic and monetary policy between member states. Next topic is the Free Trade Area of the Americas. It is a proposed free trade agreement between the United States and 34 countries in North, Central, and South America, as well as the Caribbean. Negotiations began right after the completion of the North American Free Trade Agreement in 1994. They were supposed to have been completed by January 1, 2005, but Venezuela, Argentina, Bolivia, and Brazil opposed the deal. It would have expanded trade by eliminating tariffs and other trade fees. It would have improved market access for companies by streamlining customs administration, reducing technical barriers to trade, and improved transparency. It would have protected patent rights as well as installed environmental and labor protections. Many state-owned utilities, such as telecommunications, electricity, and insurance, would have been opened up to foreign direct investment. Next topic is the regional economic integration elsewhere. The ASEAN, or the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. It was formed in 1967, where it includes Brunei, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam. The basic objective of ASEAN: to foster free trade between member countries and to achieve cooperation in their industrial policy. Next topic is the APEC, or Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation. It was founded in 1990 at the suggestion of Australia. It has currently 21 member states. The aim of APEC is to increase multilateral cooperation in view of the economic rise of the Pacific nations and the growing interdependence within the region. Regional trade blocs in Africa. African countries have been experimenting with regional trade blocs for half a century. There are now 9 trade blocs on the African continent. Many countries are members of more than one group. Although the number of trade groups is impressive, progress toward the establishment of meaningful trade blocs has been slow. The most recent attempt to re-energize the free trade movement in Africa occurred in early 2001, when Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, member states of the East African Community, committed themselves to relaunching their bloc 24 years after it collapsed. The three countries, with 80 million inhabitants, intend to establish a customs union, regional court, legislative assembly, and eventually a political federation. Their program includes cooperation on immigration, road and telecommunication networks, investment, and capital markets. So that's all. Thank you for listening.